everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Touliatos, brought to you by his book, The Bible of Bodybuilding 2, available on Amazon.com. Today we have a very special guest, all the way from Florida, but at one time, he himself was a Greek citizen, I believe. Maybe he still is. Please welcome IFBB Pro, Jimmy Mentis.
How are you guys?
Welcome, Jimmy.
Yes, Yorgo. Ron, thank you, man. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on and have some fun.
George, it's your show. I'm going to give you the first question.
All right, the first question I want to ask Jimmy. I mean, he's the old school, okay? He's, I think your last show was Arnold 2000, right?
Yeah, 2000.
All right. So you mentioned a lot about the presentation and the posing, something which is a neglected parameter today. Do you think the sport is heading towards the right direction? Because many claim that they pose clumsy, the aesthetics have been gone, the bubble gut, you know, and the grace of the posing, which is an art, has been lost. So what's your take on that? And if you think that posing, of course, should be counted in the final result, because I think now it's just for the fans.
Yeah.
And because it's a freak show, we know that the sport evolves from Ronnie to Jay, and now we have Samsung, and also we had Big Ramy. So they're all of them over 300 pounds. So more is not better. What do you think about that?
That's a good question. Yeah, it's a very sensitive topic, right? You got half the world, half the bodybuilding world wants the posing, the other doesn't want the posing. Well, let's think about this. If you take the competition away from the sport of bodybuilding, what do we have? Weightlifting.
Yeah.
That's all we have. The minute that this became bodybuilding a competitive sport, we are basically artists, right? You have the physiques. We are showcasing our physiques. It's an art form. So I believe, and I still believe, that no matter who it is, no matter what size you are actually expressing yourself. You're telling a story. You're telling a story about your connection to the judges, the connection to the audience. You're expressing yourself. So it's an art form. This bodybuilding, to me, you want your double bi, your side chest, it's art. It's a sculpting thing that we do, because if we didn't have the competition, we'd just be weightlifters. So to me, the competitive side is the art form of weightlifting.
Okay. I have a question, Jimmy, because I assumed you had been born and raised in Greece and then immigrated. We don't have too many people go from U.S. to another country. It's more like the other way around. But I looked at a quick thing about your bio, born in 65, and you moved in 81 to Greece.
Yeah.
So why'd you move? How'd that come about?
That was a tough move for me, because I had just gone into my freshman year, and I was very, very good at sports. So as a freshman, I already had made the high school teams, and my parents decided to close up shop and move to Greece.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm full blown speaking English. I understood Greek because of the family, and then I'm thrown into Greece, and just not knowing what to do.
Wow.
And right away, my parents didn't have enough money at that time to put me in an American school called American Community Schools, ACS. So I went to a public Greek school.
Wow.
Not knowing what the hell was going on. So the way I made friends was through sports. I played soccer, and then I played soccer, I played basketball, I played volleyball, I played every sport there was. I was very athletic. So at some point, I think after a year, I was trying out for the professional teams for soccer. And I end up making the farm team of AEK. It's AEK. You have Olympiacos, Panathinaikos, and the three basic teams, AEK. So I made the farm team. It was called Eras Techniki then. I don't know what's it called now. And I made that team. So with that, I got into my sports. I found a safe place. I was safe. then, we opened the business up. We opened the hamburger shop. And my parents had, enough money. They put me into the American Community Schools, which was basically cookie cutter, books, everything like you're in an American school. And then I was playing pretty good. I was ready to go pro. I was like 6 months away from them turning me pro. I tore my ACL.
Oh.
And I went into a gym. It's called International Gym. In 1984, and I never left. I ended up buying that gym years later.
Wow.
Never left.
You remember Mikey was asking you to come back and buy, and
Yeah. When
10 years ago.
Yeah, that was about 15 years ago. I went to FIBO, and then I surprised my parents in Greece. I went to the island, and then I went back to my old stomping grounds, the gyms and stuff like that. And I went back to my old gym. And Mikey, then, when I left, we had pictures of all the bodybuilders, including myself, everything, right? On the walls, we had a big
mirror also, the mirror.
Yeah, just everything, right? Ron, when I went back, they were still there.
Wow.
And Mikey was tired. He was tired. He goes, "Hey, buy the gym back."
Yeah.
And I wanted to. I don't know what happened, but I wanted to buy the gym back. And what I was going to do then was I was going to keep the gym open and not even charge memberships. I was thinking about that, just to make it because that was one of the first gyms in Athens, Greece.
Old school.
It was a basement.
Wow.
But all the Yoda, remember, all the good bodybuilders were coming out of that gym.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So how did you become a competitor? Did you see your potential? Did someone else? I mean,
no, yeah, there was.
Is that your first show that we're looking at there?
Yeah, that was my first show.
Wow.
That was a Saturday. Sunday I had a basketball game. So there was a guy. His name is George Foktarides. He owned the gym back then, and he had won a couple Mr. Greases. Good guy, knew bodybuilding, understood bodybuilding, and he saw me. He's like, "Hey, why don't you try this?" And I'm like, "I'll give it a shot." So I posed with a white posing trunks, okay, and I posed to Star Wars.
Like the main theme?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I won, which was the beginning and the end of everything, because you win, you're just like, okay, let me do this again.
Yeah.
And then 2 months later, I got drafted in the military.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, is it mandatory?
Yeah, I got drafted in the military.
Oh, geez.
And then I finished in the military in '86, and 3 months later, I won the Junior Mr. Grease.
Yeah.
And that was it, man. I was hooked. I always loved muscles. Always loved muscles. I was a soccer player. I mean, look how I won in '84, right?
Yeah.
That was me all day long. Hot dogs, hamburgers, and milk. I wish I could do that now, but that doesn't work.
Yeah. Wow.
Jimmy, you always competed in IFBB, right?
Yes. Yeah. Always.
Okay.
Yeah, so I know you tried to turn pro in the Nationals at the USA.
Yep.
Didn't happen. What made you decide to go back to Greece and get your pro card there? Because I think there's only like one. Now you can't even turn pro in Greece. Now there's the elite runs the country, but back then you could, right?
Yeah. It was at the '94 Nationals. I weighed in about 255. It was the year DeMeo won. And we were all good. That top 10, we were all so good. Okay. I placed 7th in one of the toughest nationals ever. And I'm like, what's going on? And then, I didn't have a sponsor then. I didn't know anything. And then the opportunity, but I was always in the magazines. I don't know if you remember, Ron. I was always, people knew me more I was more famous and I didn't even really compete. It was like the social media now, right? No, everybody's famous, but no one ever competed. That was me. I really never did anything in the amateur ranks. I've won shows, But when the opportunity came to me, they were like, "Hey, man, how many years have you been pro?" I'm like, "I'm not a pro." I'm like, "You're not?" Right? So that opportunity came to me after the nationals, and it was Ben and Joe. When I went out for a photo shoot to do a couple covers, we were shooting 2-3 covers at a time at that time. Joe gave me the opportunity. He goes, "Hey, why don't I talk to Ben?" And because Ben was part of the whole international thing, right? Joe was running the business,
Right.
And let me talk to Ben, and it might be a good idea, for you to go back to Greece and win Mr. Greece. If you win Mr. Greece, you turn pro and you'd be the first IFBB Greek professional. And that was just music to my ears. So they made the call, for me to go back to Greece. And then back then the Greek president wanted nothing to do with it. They're like, "There's no way, because if they know that Jimmy's coming, at that level, we're not gonna, they're not gonna, no one's gonna compete." So they offered Ben if I guest posed. They're like, "No." Ben's like, "If you're gonna win, if he's gonna compete, he's gonna compete to win, and then he'll get his letter of recommendation." Because you remember back then, just because you won doesn't mean you got a pro card.
That's right.
Back then, you win, and then you get a letter of recommendation. So then, I went to Greece. I competed 265. There were only 4 guys. No one really showed up, and I won. And I came back and I started my pro career. But then my guest posing appearances really took off, because Ben and Joe, mostly Joe, was really, really good to me. And then Jim Chatta used to run the art directory. And then Jeff Everson was a huge fan of mine, and always had me in the studios, always. And the more magazines I was on and the more magazines I was in, the more guest appearances I was getting. I mean, at one point, I think it's 97 or 98, I was on the road 48 weeks out of the 52.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It, back then there was no really microwaves or anything. So I had a hot plate, a pan. I had a body bag. It was basically my kitchen and my life in a body bag.
Oh man.
But I loved it. I hate it. It's funny how life, gives you these opportunities. Like when I was on the road, I was like lonely, because, you travel to all these countries, and the only thing you see is the airport. They pick you up. They take you to the hotel. They pick you up from the hotel. They take you to the gym to train. They take from the gym to train back to the hotel, to the expo for the appearance, back to the hotel, airport. You're gone.
Yep.
Right. Next country. So it was very lonely on a personal side, but because I was meeting thousands of people, every weekend, it was good. But I hated it at some point. Like, and now I look back, I'm like, wish I could do it again. Right.
And I would always, yeah, Jimmy, I got to say, I don't know why I have to preface it by saying no homo, but you were, and not to say that you're not a good looking man now, but I could see why they use you. You're very photogenic. You had the model looks, I guess the Mediterranean rugged good looks. I mean, I could see why, even if you would never turn pro, you still would have been in the magazines nonstop, because it's all about marketability. That face and that physique, of course. You sell products, you sell magazines. So yeah,
like all the magazines, like Bob Kennedy and Iron Man, John Balick, right?
John Balick,
yeah, John Balick. They love the scruff. They love the scruff. Joe hated the scruff. Hated it. Like I would be clean shaved, and he'd be looking at me like, "Jimmy, why don't you shave?" And they would cake the base on me. He hated it.
Oh wow!
I remember I couldn't smile. I had so much makeup. Like on the blue Muscle Fitness cover, I remember I couldn't even smile. My face was so caked up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So
Yeah,
Jimmy got a pro card 95 in Greece, right?
Yes.
So meanwhile, you're competing at the NPC, I think, with Tony Freeman or other guys. Is that correct?
Yes.
So were you a pro back then in the NPC?
No.
Or just doing the nationals?
No. All the way up to 94, I was doing the NPC. I was doing the NPC level, the national
And
level.
you came third, right?
In 1990, when the USAs were drug tested, when I first came over from Greece,
Super heavy.
yeah, I placed third. I lost to Aaron Baker won that year.
That's right.
And Jerry Rogers, I lost to Jerry Rogers at 265 by 1 point, and I weighed in 218.
You'll be saying that your loss to Spiro at 89 was the best thing happened in your career.
Yes, yes.
And
It was the worst thing.
You go to the Mediterranean and said, no thanks.
Yeah.
Take the wiener.
Right.
You know what? Just to back up and make the viewers aware, they don't realize when you were competing in the NPC, there was no super heavyweight division yet.
Oh.
So everybody over 198 and a quarter was in the same class. So you just said 218. That would have been a heavyweight. You probably would have won the heavyweight and got your pro card, but you were up against Aaron Baker and Jerry Rogers. Yeah. Aaron was probably like 240 to 250
Aaron
range.
Was 240. Yeah.
Yeah. And Jerry, as you said, 260. He was a tall dude, Jerry.
He was. I remember, and this, don't forget, this is my first time like really seeing American bodybuilders, right? Because I lived in Greece. The only time I saw an American bodybuilder was in 1989 when I flew from Greece and I did the Empire State in the Lake Ontario, and I won both shows. And I went back home and I packed everything up and came here. So I'm sitting next to Jerry Rogers. He's 6'2", right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, where am I going? Where am I going with this? Like I'm sitting here, and his shoulder's like 6 inches higher than mine. Okay. Yep. And because we're sitting in the audience watching the prejudging, and we go backstage, and I'm like, there's no way. So just think about this, right? I weighed in 218 soaking wet. I lost to Jerry Rogers by 1 point. It was 265, and Flex Magazine weighed me in at 240 in the write-up. They thought I was 240. Huh.
That's a good thing.
And since then, my whole career, I lied about my weight the whole time.
I mean, was that as a pro? What was your weight?
I did the Arnold, the video that you saw.
Yeah,
I did the Arnold at 285.
Wow,
285.
I was 285 with that Arnold. Yeah.
Your first show was in Tampa, right?
I'm sorry.
Your first show was in Tampa, 97. The Tampa Pro.
No, it was the Florida Pro.
Okay.
It was the Florida Pro, and
Flex Wheeler won.
Flex Wheeler won it, and that's when Ronnie started destroying everybody, right? No, that's when Ronnie really showed up, and they just started taking over, right? That show, 4 weeks before the show, I was 325 pounds.
Jeez.
I looked amazing. I felt great. I had some fat on me, you know, I'm not gonna lie. Then Wayne D'Amelia put my back up against the wall. And he goes, hey, you're doing the Florida Pro. And I'm like, I didn't sign up for it. He goes, you're doing the Florida Pro. I'm putting you on the poster. I'm trying to find the poster because when I moved, everything just got lost. He put me on the Florida Pro poster. He goes, you're the hometown boy, you know, you're a draw. I'm putting you on the poster. You're doing the show. And I didn't hear or else, but that's the message I got. Okay. So I came down to 290. If you look at the pictures, I'm just huge. You know, there's a couple of pictures on my Instagram further back. I don't know if you want to take down. Yeah, if you want to take the time. Yeah, but like I'm like 290, huge, and obviously I didn't place, but that was my formula.
You had to be 290 here in this picture.
No. You know what this is?
No.
This is in '94 when I went out to Golds after the Nationals to do my photo shoots.
Oh, after you won the Greek Nationals?
No.
Oh,
no? I wasn't even pro here.
Oh, yeah. Boy. Man. Yeah, I wanted to point out that Arnold footage that we showed, you didn't do very well, but let's put it into some context of who were the top guys at that time.
Let me tell you why I didn't do well. You know, obviously everything, you know, after a while you understand. This was the Nationals in '94. That's why I chest shot. Yeah.
Wow.
I was 250.
So you put 35 more pounds of muscle after that.
Yeah. So when when I did the Arnold, it was 4 years that I hadn't competed. So I went from 265 to 300, right? So I had a lot of muscle on me, and I didn't know what, I tried to follow what I used to do. And I was just flat. I was just flat. I took a diuretic. I got stressed. And then I took a diuretic that was on the list, on the banned list. Remember that Arnold, there were diuretic testing.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. And I panicked. I took a diuretic and I didn't even look at the list, and it just flattened me out. You can see, I mean, I'm struggling to pose.
Yeah, but I want to tell people who the top 6 in this show we're looking at: Flex Wheeler, Chris Cormier, Kevin Levrone, Dennis James, Dexter Jackson, Gunther Schlerkamp. Gunther would go on a couple years later, beat Ronnie in a show after the Olympia. So this was a tough. You didn't choose this era, but you ended up in what many consider to be the toughest era with Ronnie, Nasser. Toward the end of the Dorian was still competing. Kevin, Sean, Vince Taylor, Cormier. I mean, you could go on and on and on. A lot of us old boomers consider that the greatest group of pro bodybuilders ever.
We were tight then, and we're still tight now.
That's cool.
Yeah. Jimmy, how come you got the invitation for the Arnold?
So I'm in Greece. I was just at FIBO, and I went to Greece. And my brother calls me from the States. And you remember back then, the old fax machines that were the rolls?
Yep.
So my brother calls me. I'm eating mom's food, moussaka. I'm eating all that stuff, right? And my brother calls. He goes, "Hey, you got a fax?" I'm like, "What is it?" He goes, "I think you got the invite for the Arnold." This is like it was like 16 weeks out.
Okay.
And that was the first Arnold that was held in February, the last week of February. So he told me on a Saturday or Friday or whatever. Monday I left. I was not going to say no. Back then it was an honor. You don't miss those shows.
How come? How did it happen?
I'm sorry?
How did they pick you up? Arnold picked you up?
I don't know. I don't know. See, back then you don't send in an application.
I know.
Back then, they just invited you. You couldn't apply.
Yeah, they said
very good looking in yourself.
They back then they were like, you are the 16 or 17. Back then it was 17 on my show. 17 best of the world.
Yeah,
that's the Nationals right there, Ron.
Oh, that was
the Nationals. 94 Nationals right there.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, this physique would do better today than I think it did in that era. And I hate being that guy. I'm not shitting on the guys today. It's just the lineups aren't that deep sometimes. They're not. Probably because we have so many more pros and so many more pro shows now than when you were competing. I think, what were there, like 10 pro shows a year back then? 12 maybe?
Yeah.
It was like 30 or 40 now.
Yeah. I think the heavyweight class of the Nationals, we had like 45, 50 guys.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Good times. But man, you got to shoot with all the top photographers, all the top fitness model girls, everything. I mean, it was.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I had an excellent career. Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
But let me ask you about the Masters, because forget about the controversy. I don't want to go into any of that. That's a whole other show that I'm all done with. But you were training for the Masters Olympia. I saw posts of yours months ago, and I didn't realize. I still don't know what happened. They just didn't accept your application.
Well, I was getting ready. I was thinking about doing the Romania.
Oh, the one 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. I tried to get ready. I got ahead of myself. I hit a wall. I thought it would be like, oh, we could do this. This is easy. but man, I hit a wall. So I didn't go. And then I talked to Dan. He goes, I'll do it next year. And then he gave me a call or texted me. I don't know how it was. He goes, it's going to be done every 2 years. So I kind of prepped for a year and a half. Literally. I mean, I was in the gym anyway. Don't get me wrong. I'm in the gym. I'm eating good, but there's a different level, right?
Yep.
So for a year and a half, I was building, really being self-aware, You know, wasn't delusional. I needed here. I needed to fix this. I need to train here. You know, that kind of stuff. It was fun. It was fun, right? You're building something. And then I didn't think I would need to qualify. I thought I would get the invite. I literally thought I would get the invite. Why wouldn't they not invite me?
Right.
And the list came out, and I wasn't on the list.
Wow. I mean, I don't want to knock before we started recording, I said I looked at the list and I didn't recognize most of the names at all. Like some of them I knew. Okay, I know who that guy was, but he's never been to the Olympia or whatever. I've never heard of him in an open show. But it boggles my mind that they didn't accept your application. Did you apply, or maybe that's?
Well, yeah, you had to send in your application, and I think within 48 hours, Alina sent me an email. She goes, "Hey, can you send me a copy of your passport?"
Huh.
So the word was, I mean, I don't want to get into that again. You know, obviously you and I are past all that, but
yeah.
The word was, and I got a call on Thursday 4 days before the list came out, that I was on the list. You know, so and I don't know what happened after that. I didn't dig into it. I'm not going to get anything out of it. But whoever made the decision not to put me on the list made the decision. That's life. Listen, it's not the first time or the last time things are not going to go my way, right? Yeah. So, but what I didn't like about, you know, listen, I love the Masters Olympia. I love it. I know a lot of people don't like it, but they don't understand it because they're not in my shoes. They're not in anybody's shoes who have a love for the sport, right? You can't walk away from something you're doing every day. You're going to the gym every day. That's why we say you never retire. You just slow down. Okay. So for the guys who were all there, they were there. They deserved it. Some, you know, but where I didn't like it was from what I heard, the promoter wanted all active masters. Okay. So for them to be active masters, they had to be active for 2 years. So, and that was it. But here's my question. How many of those active masters got their pro cards at master level?
Most of them.
Right. So where is that tagline where they say, I don't know exactly how it says it, that we're bringing back the legacy. It's we're bringing back the past, right? There is no past. Freddie Smalls. I don't know. I think Phil turned pro as a Masters. Did he? Or,
he did.
Or
no, I'm sorry. That's not true. He turned pro as an open. I believe he was already 43 years old, and it was at a Ben Weider Cup or something.
That's right. So Freddie Smalls, Phil, and a few others, right?
Yeah. Had
turned pro at a regular show. But all the other guys were already masters and they turned pro. It's not like they came back from a younger age and still going. So that's where I was like, that doesn't, they're ruining the whole the nostalgic part of the Masters Olympia. You know, and I actually, to be honest with you, you know, I don't know how everybody feels about it, but I feel a little different. I know I would have created some kind of excitement. I know I would have. I mean, I'm not Kevin or Flex, you know, to sell out, but I know I would have brought back some excitement. So, you know, it is what it is.
I mean, I've heard of you, and, you know, I know who Jimmy Mentis is. I looked at that list. I'm like, who's that? So how can I get excited about a contest that's an Olympia event, and I don't recognize most of these people competing? Obviously, the Mr. Olympia is a whole other level. We know all those guys. Especially everyone in the top 10 is a star, but you know, I don't know what they could do because think about it, even in this Mr. Olympia, we have Brandon Curry and William Bonacker over 40. They could do it. Rolly Winkler could come back. He's like 45 now.
Right.
You know, Kai, you never know how old he is. He changes his mind all the time. He's definitely over 40. Phil Heath, obviously, I mean, if it had names like that, I'd get excited about the Masters Olympia. I wasn't excited about that Masters Olympia.
No. But again, why? Back then, I mean, Vince has won it 5 times, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So Vince won it. There's Masters Olympias. There's a history of amazing Masters Olympia competitions.
Robbie
Okay?
Robinson won it. Dexter
Right.
Jackson won
Right.
it.
But why was it exciting? Because we knew them from the past. We knew them that they were somebody, right?
Yes.
So this Masters Olympia was basically another pro show, Masters Pro show. Just because you put Masters Olympia, it didn't bring more excitement because of the competitors. I'm not taking anything away from Phil. I don't want to take anything away from Dorian. I don't want to take anything from anybody. I'm just saying that there wasn't excitement to this show.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the promoter didn't care too much about it. I heard there was hardly any promotion whatsoever, even in Japan.
Right.
You know, so I don't know. I don't know to be honest with you, I never mentioned this publicly, but my goal was to compete at the Masters Olympia and then take it to Greece. Yeah.
You mean you were going to promote it?
Yeah.
Wow. Because you are a promoter now, right?
No.
Have you promoted shows?
I do title sponsors, and I help promote the shows that I do title sponsors.
Okay.
Right. But I was going to put a letter together, and this is no lie, this is true, that I was going to put a letter together and basically tell them that I want to do a contract, 5 years, bring it to Greece, sanction fees. This is the marketing dollars I was going to put in. This is the marketing dollars that I was going to do here. I had it all planned out. But it showed me that, you know, sometimes when you lose, when someone misses that opportunity, they lost that opportunity for me. You know, they didn't. So I don't know. I don't know where the Masters Olympia. I heard it might be in Delaware or Maryland.
Yeah, I heard of Maryland, but I correct me if I'm wrong, because when George and we had Chris Pistolas and his wife on a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
and they explained to me that there is no IFBB Pro League or NPC worldwide presence in Greece.
Yeah.
It's all IFBB Elite now.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if it's possible to hold a Pro League event in Greece now.
So let me actually tell you a few things that a lot of people don't know. Hardly anybody knows. When that whole breakup happened, I got the call from Spain to help on the other end, and I declined. Like, it wasn't even a conversation. Okay, my loyalties are on this side. But when I started talking to a few people in Greece that are running the bodybuilding community, because I don't even know what organization it is now, right? I spent close to 4 hours 1 week talking to a few guys, and they're on the verge of signing the contract on the elite, the IFBB elite side. And I said, don't do it. I'm going to come to Greece, and I'm going to help you guys promote the shows, the Greek Cup, the Greek, you know, George, just like we had it back then, right? You had the Greek Cup, which was like the Arnold Classic, and then you had the Greek Nationals, and you had some other shows, Mr. Crete, you know, and stuff like that. But I was going to come in, I was going to fund it. Okay, I was able at that point to fund it, and I was like, let's do it, because that's where I started. That's where my blood is, right? So they didn't want it. It's like, dude, we're just going to go that way, because bodybuilding in Greece, when I was there, when I lived there and competed, it was good. Could it be better? Sure, right? It was good. We were going out every year. We were going out to the Mediterranean Championships, right? We were going out to the European Championships. We were going out to the World Championships. We were put together Greek national teams, paid for. And now it doesn't even exist.
Now it's messed up because it's spread to different federations.
Yeah. So now you want everybody there as a promoter in their own way, and they only have maybe 10, 15 tickets sold. Instead of them joining together, okay, creating this thing and doing it right, everybody's, you know, it's very frustrating. I'm sure you can hear the frustration, because I always wanted to bring the bodybuilding back to Greece, because when I left, only a few other great champions came out of there. Like Mike Kefalianos came out of there, right? Mike did an amazing pro career, amazing athlete.
I think you cooperated.
I'm sorry?
I think you cooperated 2013. A little bit.
Yeah, like I sponsored him through Myolabs, you know. I mean he's Greek. I mean, you know, he came, he said, I need some help, and I'm like, hey, let's do it. you know. And then I don't know. It's just like it just fizzled out. It just fizzled out.
Cool. Well, let's switch gears. I want to talk about today, the current time. You're almost 60 years old. You still look pretty huge. So I want to know, what are you weighing now? How is your work? How is your training? Any different? You're eating? I mean, what's changed? Because nobody's training and eating the same at 59, 60 as they were at 25, 30.
I wasn't. I am now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing. We have this perception we get older, we can't handle certain things. And I was there at 50. I was there. I was like, I can't handle all this food. I can't do this. I can't do that. Let me slow down a little. And I got worse, Ron. I got worse. My joints were hurting me. I was losing weight. I was still training, and I tried my best to go into a gym to do 3 sets of 10, and try not to break a sweat, and I was like, why in the hell am I even going? Like, I don't have either I don't go or I go all out, right? And I'm not going to not go. So I'm going to go all out. So I had to remedy this. I had to figure out how I can go all out and feed the machine. So, that whole masters thing, the whole Romania thing was a good push for me. But I was always training hard. And then, I got my full hip replacement, 20 years ago, basically almost right after I retired. So I never wanted to sit down. And now I'm eating. I'm right now, I'm sitting here at 260.
Wow.
Okay? I'm 260. I'm eating 4,000 to 4,500 calories a day. I'm training. I'm still doing my bro science thing, but I sometimes do just, the push pull legs. I do my recovery. I haven't changed anything. What I did change, though, I got to be honest with you, is I started taking a few peptides.
Okay.
And I when they first came out, I was like, bullshit, Yeah. So a really good friend of mine, John Chakuris, I'm sure you heard of him, Titan Medical.
Yeah.
Called him up and I said, hey, I'm gonna drive over there and talk to you. So he sat me down. He goes, you're an idiot. He goes, you're an idiot. I said, well, keep me alive. Let's go. So we did blood work, and he set me up with some peptides. I still take my TRT, but my TRT, to be honest with you, is not as low as everybody else's.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I'm doing about 400 a week. 400 plus a week.
So what's your top level? What's your level just before shooting?
Just before what?
Just before injecting.
What's your testosterone level?
That's a really good question, because I was doing 400, and when I did blood work at 6 weeks and then 6 weeks again, I was at 1,200 and I was 800, right?
With 400 kilograms, you have 1,200 nanograms?
Yes.
Jimmy, I think it's it's fake. It should be.
No. Listen. So then we did it again, and I was over 3,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So
don't measure it right after the shot, just before the shot, the trough level.
Oh, see, I don't know, because I don't test it like that. So, and I know, because it's a buildup for me, right? So when we got it around 3,000, right? I'm like, he's like, dude, you're too high. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm staying right here. So we lowered it a little. And I do feel better. I do feel better. But you know what? I'm taking the IGF LR3. I'm taking the MK677, which is huge for me. I felt that right away. My appetite went up within 48 hours. I'm doing the glutathione. What else am I doing?
IGF woman, so you no GH then?
And I'm taking three IUs of GH a day.
Okay.
Yeah. But when I was getting ready for the Masters, I kind of went up and dabbled on some other things, as you guys know.
I would think so.
Yeah.
So I guess that the next question, because I have a cardiologist and I do all that stuff. The concern would be your heart. I assume the blood work tells you all the levels with your cholesterol, your HDL, your LDL. But do you get the EKGs, the stress test, the calcium scores, and all that?
I have a friend doctor. He is he's a close family friend. He basically owns the second floor in the hospital down at Brickell, and he locked me up on a weekend, and he ran tests on me. So I'm thinking now, oh, here we go. Here we go. So Friday morning, I went in Friday morning. Saturday morning, they took me in for another test. I asked the nurse, hey, any news? She goes, no news. Okay. So Saturday morning, same thing. Monday morning, same thing. I'm telling my wife, listen, they're holding back some bad information. They're going to throw it at us all at once.
Uh-oh.
So I'm telling my wife, baby, I promise you, if I get out of here, I start getting scared. I said, baby, if I get out of here with a clean bill of health, I promise you, I'm going to eat my vegetables. I'm going to start doing cardio, So Tuesday morning, they wake me up and they take me downstairs for the stress test. Okay. And they hook me up with all these wires and they take this treadmill.
Yep.
Like this.
Yep.
Right. And the nurse goes, you have to hit 175. I'm like, I looked at him like, that's not going to happen. Don't even think like that. So she goes, oh, we'll get you up there. Okay. So I'm taking steps. Now my quad's like blown up, right? I can't hardly move. I'm huffing and puffing. My heart rate shoots up to 180. She takes me off the treadmill and she puts me on my heart sideways.
Yep.
Okay. And then the bitch tells me to hold my breath.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm like, she goes, hold your breath. I look at her, I'm like, no fucking, just like, there's no fucking way. She goes, you have to hold your breath. And the doctor had just walked in and he had his hands behind his back and he's looking at the monitor. He goes, you have a heart of a 30-year-old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So obviously I get a full bill clean of health, right? So we get back and we're driving through Miami on I-95 going back home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm healthy. So I look over to my wife. I said, baby, I think I got one more in me. Wow. She's ready to open the door and jump out. But yeah, no, I mean, knock on wood,
I mean, obviously there's a genetic component. Some people, they luck out. I mean, like I abused gear for many years, and by the grace of God, I have some LVH, but my cholesterol is perfect, blood pressure is perfect. But all three of us know people our age or younger who are gone.
I'm actually coaching some guys that come to me and they're just.
Yeah. So, I mean, from your perspective, George and I try to help people stay healthy every week. That's the main reason we're here. What advice would you give to these, to our generation, the people who are over 40, over 50, who want to keep looking really big and strong? And, we're bodybuilders for life, no matter what happens. Yeah. Like we can't go in the gym and do anything half-assed. It's all or nothing. So right. What's your best advice to do that?
And that's a great angle, because the guys who trained back then or getting older aren't going to slow down unless they have to slow down or unless their bodies tells them to slow down, and that's okay, right? Because then you work around things. But if you're going to go into the gym and train, I always tell everybody, even today, I had a guy at the gym. I mean, go in and train. Just make sure you're taking care of it. In other words, you're getting your meals in there, you're getting your water in there, your blood work. Now that I'm with Titan, there's so many guys that I send over to Titan that never even considered getting blood work. Because we're okay. I'm okay. I feel okay. Right? But once you start understanding that if you follow the blood work, you're good. See, Ron, back then, we didn't have anybody to go to. It was a taboo. You couldn't get blood work. So unless our fingers were turning yellow or we're shitting blood, we were okay.
Yeah.
So, but now there's an opportunity, and I tell everybody, and that's my recommendation. get your blood work done. You know, because once your insides are working, you know, the best, optimized, everything's optimized, then the mind's okay, then the body, there's no inflammation. You know, if you have joint pain, you have joint pain. That's fine. You always work around that. But I don't think anybody should slow down. There's no reason. Muscle is longevity.
Yes.
You know, muscle's longevity. I remember remember Dennis Newman? Dennis Newman and I trained together when he was getting ready for the USAs. The poor guy had leukemia. We had no idea he had leukemia.
Yeah.
Okay? The doctors told him, literally told him, if you didn't have all this muscle, you would have been dead.
Wow. Yes. Same happened to Bill Phillips when he got COVID.
Yes. Yes.
He lost 40 pounds.
Yeah. And Bill was really ready to die.
Jeez.
So why should somebody stop building muscle? I'm not saying you're going to build the muscle you built at 20 or 30, but building muscle at my age is basically maintaining, right? You don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
But you still have to have that mental attitude of, I need to build muscle. Because you maintain, if you eat and train to maintain, you're going to lose.
Listen, let me get back to the Masters, because they were on that Muscle Discord show. I did watch some. So they had Phil on, they had Bill, Walter Martin, and they had Fred Biggie Smalls on, who had all just competed. And they were talking about how to promote the Masters Olympia. And they said they were missing out on like the over 40, over 50 guys to show them that this is still a healthy, you can still be healthy and look great after a certain age. And in my mind, I'm thinking, but guys, you have to blast a shit ton of gear to look the way you do. Is that something we would want to promote to 50-year-old men? So that's what I ask you. Do you think it's safe, relatively speaking, for the average guy, 50, 55 years old, to be doing 1.5 to 3 grams of gear, 10 IUs of growth, 20 units of insulin a day? I mean, is it more dangerous, in your opinion, for an older guy to do all that versus a 25-year-old?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. But I don't think anybody should be looking at the Masters Olympia saying, I want to look like that. They can actually see what they're doing and tone it down, because everything's the same except of the gear. You're still eating, you're still training, you're still recovering, you're still taking your supplements. Nothing changes.
Yeah. Well, actually, the skin loses the tone.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So why should anybody really slow down? All right, listen. Sometimes, you got bodybuilders going a little crazy because you get caught up and you have to do what you have to do. And again, it's a decision. But nobody should be taking that amount just to go to the gym. There's no reason. Even in your 20s.
Well, yeah, I mean, sadly, we have 16, 17-year-olds now doing a couple grams of tren a week and every peptide under the sun, because that's what they think is cool. But let's move past that. I want to ask you about these companies up there. You've had these for a while, Beauty Fit and Myolabs. So what is Beauty Fit and what is Myolabs?
Beauty Fit, I started in 2009. It's a brand that was built, created just for women. In 2009, I created the women's category in the sports nutrition industry. Yeah.
Wow.
And it took off. Within 3 years, Ron, I was in 120 countries.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the Beauty Works, Spiro Maragall.
Yeah. I was distributed all in like 120 countries, literally 120 countries. So, and then that became my baby. And I just laid all my time into that. And the Myolabs brand was the brother of Beauty Fit, because when the distributors that I had great relationships with, they were buying Beauty Fit, they were like, well, do you have anything for men? And I said, I'll build you something. So I built a men's brand. And basically, if I would sell 20 pallets of Beauty Fit, 2 pallets of Myolabs would go with it. The one guy who really stood out for the Myolabs was Mo in New Zealand.
Mo, what's Mo's last name?
Musabi?
Yeah, Musabi, that's right.
Yeah. He was in love with Myolabs. In love. You know, even in Greece they loved it. But the thing is, the government, the laws changed. You know, but again, the big thing was, you know, the beauty fit, because when I start sponsoring shows, my thing was, you know, the fitness girls, right? The girls who competed. And then I realized that the only girls that were coming to the booth were the girls in the audience, because the girls on stage didn't really care that much. So once I saw that, I kind of shifted. I went, you know, mainstream.
Okay.
I went mainstream, and that's where a lot of people are like saying, "Hey, you know, what happened to Beauty Fit?" There's a lot of brands out there that I saw after I went mainstream that I didn't even know existed. You know, doing 300 million a year, 400 million a year, and you never even heard of them. We never even heard of them.
Yeah. So, anything where it's gym business, supplement business, if you cater to like competitors, you're done.
Right.
There's so few of them.
The one thing that really catered to competitors, not catered, that the competitors really took from the Beauty Fit brand and still do to this day, is the Beauty Bump. It's the Beauty Bump. It's an anti-cellulite cream. It's skin tightening. And it actually what it does, it actually shrinks the fat cells. It's the only one in the world that actually do that. I kind of mimicked the Thymucase. Remember the old Thymucase from France? Yeah.
Put it in the butt.
Yep. So, you know, the rest of the topicals that are out there, they're just sweat creams. They cover your pores and you sweat. Well, this wasn't. I have an emulsifier there that absorbs the ingredients up to 92%. So it reaches the fat cells and it shrinks the fat cells and tightens the skin. It's a two-step process. Up to this day, I could probably say 80% of the fitness competitors, you know, bikini, wellness, all that, are using the Beauty Bump. I see their names all the time come through.
And nobody tried to like clone that or steal that?
Yeah, one guy did. One guy did, and you know, he was basically bottling it for me. Oh, okay. And then I realized that I was short thousands, a couple thousand tubes, and then next thing you know, he came out with it. You know, wow. But you know, we made up. You know, we made up, and it was good.
Random question just popped in my head. Did your parents ever come back to the U.S. or no?
So, where was that question from? And I'll tell you where you left off.
Well, I know you moved back to the USA. What 80?
All right, so you're going back there. No, my parents never came back.
Oh wow.
They did come back. I'm sorry, they did come back for 4 or 5 years. We opened up a few restaurants, and then my dad got sick, and then we realized that he can't do this anymore. So we shut the restaurants down, gave him a one-way ticket to Greece, and then he went back to Greece. So then my brother stayed here, and then my brother, I don't know if you know my brother. My brother's he's a sought-out chef. He used to work for Sodexo, and now he's the kingpin of food trucks now in Florida. He's got a truck called the Greek. He's got 5 trucks now, but the one called the Greek that actually does Greek authentic gyro with the pork, the real pork, and he's killing it. That's it. My mom and dad were here for 6 months. My mom just beat cancer at 88.
Your parents are both still alive?
Yes, bro.
Wow.
Yes. So that's why my heart, not going wood, that's why my heart's okay.
Oh, wow.
My dad is 92,
wow.
And my mom is 88. And my mom just beat cancer, my brother. She had cancer in her in the kidney, and they were like, and she beat it in 6 months, and they're back home in Greece.
In Greece, she beat it in Greece, really?
They were here. We brought them here for 6 months, and then she rang the bell, and 4 days later, she's back in Greece.
Wow.
Yep.
George's mom lived to be 100. Grandmother was 107.
Yeah. I think my grandma was about 107. We didn't even know her birthday, but through some paperwork. Yeah.
I mean, Do you really believe? We always hear the Mediterranean diet is so much healthier, but I mean, I do hear all these people from Italy and Greece living to be healthy into their 90s and beyond. I mean, do you think the Mediterranean diet really is something more protective?
Well, listen, there's a huge translation of Mediterranean diet and what Greek food is. Okay, Mediterranean diet here is they made it their own thing. It's just a way of life, the way they make the food there, right? You can have bread and not get fat. You can eat steak, fish, the oils. You know, it's not about the Mediterranean thing. It's just the way the food's prepared. You know, so and everybody can eat. I mean, here in the States, what do we say to go have a good time? Let's go have a beer.
Yeah.
Right? In Greece, let's go eat. Let's go eat. Let's have a cup of coffee. That's it. So either you're drinking coffee or you're eating. So, and that's where, like, when I was in Greece, I never gained any weight. When my mom was cooking food here in the States, when she was with us, because every year they used to come for 6 months, right? I was like, Mom, you can't cook this. And I'll gain weight. When I'm over in Greece, she's cooking the same food. I wasn't gaining weight. And I'm eating breads, oven, right out of the oven. And it's just not the same. That's why Ian Valera was just talking about it, that he was in Italy for Seabum's wedding, and he's eating pasta and this and that, and he didn't gain any weight.
Wow. It's crazy. Yeah. How often do you get back to Greece?
I haven't been back since George said 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Do you have any nostalgia for Greece? Because I heard the recent interview of yours. You said, what should I do? I don't miss Greece. I mean, to go and have a souvlaki in Blackar. But when I met you, however, you told me that you want to sell everything and move back.
Yeah.
So
I still do. I still do. But there's a couple of things that happened with Beauty Fit. I kind of had an acquisition with Beauty Fit a few years ago. And we let them do their thing. But they defaulted on a couple things, and as we speak now, I'm back. I took Beauty Fit back.
Oh.
So we're not going to have the same business model. We're not going to retailers. We're not doing the wholesale thing, but we're going to go straight to consumers. So I hired some really good people, gave them a piece of the action, gave them a piece of the company, and basically once that up and running, my wife and I, we're gonna try to live 6 months here or whatever that is, but we're gonna do something in Greece and do the dual life as they call it, right? But when I get to Greece, George, I want to do something with the bodybuilding thing. It's like
the federation.
I'm sorry?
The federation.
Yeah, that's like, it's like I would fly there tomorrow to pull people together to do this. I'll fund it. I got no problem funding it. But they think different. They all want to do their own thing. They all want to make the money by themselves. Like
too much ego.
Yeah, too much egos.
Yeah.
Too much egos, and I think that's what tore it apart. So
well, there's still time. Things can still change, and you're still young enough to be able to be that change. You're still vital and very passionate about the bodybuilding industry.
Absolutely. And George is a huge factor, because I know if I go to Greece, George is the first guy I'm calling. It's like, hey, help me here. Even if he doesn't want to get involved, I'm going to get him involved.
He's on TV all the time.
I know.
Everybody in Greece knows Dr. T.
I know. And the thing is, I'm sorry?
Are you in Vegas?
Vegas.
I'm most likely I will be, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's I'm looking forward to the Olympia. I'm looking forward to the show.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's talk about the lineup of the Olympia. What do you have the top 4?
Oof.
In no particular order.
I got Samson, Hadi, Derek, Nick.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'll switch out Nick with Derek.
Okay.
Could go either way. I mean,
See,
Nick
Nick is becoming the Nassar of the 90s. Okay? Like where do we put him? That's what the judges are going to say. Where do we put him?
Yeah, he's freakish.
Because he's going to be so massive, okay? if he keeps going the way he's going and not doing anything stupid or crazy, okay, he stays calm, I think Nick can do some real damage. I even think he can beat Hadi. So let me ask you this question since we brought this up. Do you think Hani Rambat is still coaching Hadi?
Yes.
Yes. In person, yeah.
Secretly, but yes.
Yeah. I mean, why? I'm not saying it's a wrong thing. I think it's an awesome thing. You know, they're from the same country. It's a brotherhood. You know, I think it's commendable. But I even think that Nick could beat Hadi too.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, I saw Samson guest pose. You know, I think he's going to look. He got it right. He got it. What did he say? I'm going to be ripped.
Yeah, he's 6 weeks out.
He's almost fit.
This is almost as lean as he was at the Arnold.
At the Arnold, correct.
6 months ago.
Correct. And his legs are bigger, which I don't know why, but you see his lats are bigger. His arms are bigger too. He's just overall. He didn't turn around, so I don't know. But
He will.
Reminds me of the structure of running.
Yes. Yeah.
No,
But listen,
I heard he's doing zero carbs.
Yes, he's on the way.
He's very depleted here for people who think, oh, he's flat. Yes, he is depleted here, obviously.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell he's depleted. You can see that his poses, he has to pose harder because he's not full.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, if he comes in, yeah, I don't talk to him obviously, but if he gets in shape early, which it looks like that's the plan, and then fills up, shows up in better condition than we've ever seen him before, but nice and full, I don't think anyone's got a chance. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Look at that. That is amazing.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and I actually think his lines are prettier now than they were last year.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree because he's, you know, he was getting a little bit of distension in the abs in the midsection when he wasn't controlling it last year. Looks to me like he's definitely got a handle on that now. He's still got 6 weeks to go.
Yeah.
My goodness.
A lot can happen in 6 weeks.
So, George, I gave you the first question, and I want to give you the last question for Jimmy.
No, I mean, I just had my question about Greece, so it's up to you, nothing more.
All right, cool. Well, that's it, man. Jimmy, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Man. I appreciate you guys. Georgie, it was also great seeing you, man. Always a pleasure. I'll see you in Vegas. Ron, I'll also see you in Vegas too, right?
No, I won't be there.
But hey, I'm happy you're doing your podcast again.
Yeah. Oh, I never stopped my podcast. I mean,
well, you're paying attention to it more.
I'm actually starting a panel format of my own, and you'll probably be hearing from me. I'll probably want you on there because you're an OG, and I like people from my age bracket who can talk about the old stuff and the new stuff. So it's called the Meathead Podcast.
I'm on it.
The Meathead is like our N-word, if I can say that without offending people, because we don't like when other people call us meatheads, but I call other bodybuilders meatheads, and it's an affectionate term. We're meatheads, we're bros.
I have to tell you, sometimes I find myself in pretty big board meetings, right?
Yeah.
And when they ask me for my opinion, and sometimes I actually start with that. I said, let me just give you my meathead opinion. Right?
I love it. Yeah. I've always liked the word. I don't know why. Meathead. It's just a cool word.
I think it's awesome.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me and Dr. T. It's been a pleasure.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks.
It's been cool, and glad you're still a very vital part of the industry. You know, and
Thank you.
It's been fine. This is the first interview I've ever had with you. Yeah. I've been on podcasts with you, but this is the first chance I've ever had to ask you all these questions that kind of in the back of my head for years and years. So this has been a great opportunity. And George, it's your idea. You set it up. So thank you.
Yeah. So, great conversation. I appreciate you guys.
We'll get back to questions about TRT and all that great stuff next time. But this has been a great interview with IFBB Pro Jimmy Mentis. And on behalf of myself and Dr. George N. Touliatos, we want to thank you for watching, and we will see you